Astrolabe. Astrolabe. Well, what is an astrolabe? Well, it's from the Greek word astrolabon, which means star taking. Huh, who knew? No, really, what is it? What's an astrolabe? Well, it's a device used to measure the height and distance and time of things. Well, it's a pretty handy tool. It was first used by Greek astronomers for navigation. It's commonly used to calculate time during the day or night, the distance and altitude of objects, especially such as stars and planets. What are the parts of an astrolabe? Well, there's kind of three main parts. So let's talk about it. The eyepiece is going to be that straw on top. Yes, the straw. By looking through the straw eyepiece, one can aim it at the fixed point, which is usually the top of the object, in order to determine that exact angle. Now, what and how do we measure the altitude? Well, the protractor. The protractor is the altitude tracker. By pointing the eyepiece, which is the straw, straight at the top of the object, the protractor moves as well, in the direction allowing the pendulum to swing. Wait, what's the pendulum? Well, the pendulum marks the altitude tracker. The pendulum will be the string that is attached to the center of the protractor point. The astrolabe swings to a certain angle. The pendulum, which has a weight at the bottom of it, stays still, marking the degree on the protractor. They all kind of work in a three-part system, and without each other, we wouldn't be able to measure the altitude, distance, or time of anything.
Okay, how do you do a do-it-yourself astrolabe? Well, there's some materials you need. First off, scissors, a glue stick, a straw, tape, string, cardboard, and a drawing of an astrolabe, so an altitude tracker, on a piece of paper, and a weight-like object like a paper clip.
Step 2. Grab your glue stick. Apply the glue onto the cardboard. Now, this is very important to evenly spread the glue because the drawing of the astrolabe is actually going to go over top of this layer of glue on the cardboard. So be careful. Take your time. Step 3. Now that the glue has set, it's time to lay the astrolabe drawing over top of that cardboard. Now, you don't have to use cardboard, but just keep in mind you want a hard surface to support the drawing, just so when you put the eyepiece on, it has that support behind it, so it'll be accurate at the angle you're recording. Step 4, time to bring out the scissors. So you're going to cut around the astrolabe drawing that we just glued and pressed onto the cardboard. Now, cut even. This is key, especially the top where the straw is going to sit. Or else, if it's kind of hinged up on an angle or a little thing of cardboard, it won't sit properly. Now that you've cut out that perfect astrolabe drawing that was glued onto the cardboard as even as possible, here comes the fun part, picking a straw. The straw you want is with a big enough eyepiece. You're going to cut that straw in half. So make sure it's something you can see clearly out of, because it's kind of like a scope. Now that you have found the perfect straw, it's time to cut the straw in half. Now, this is very important. You want the eyepiece to line up exactly on the top of the protractor where you will lie the eyepiece. And make sure when you cut the straw, it's even. Use those tough scissors again, okay? Time to pull out the tape. So now that you've evenly cut the straw, the length of the top of the protractor, you will be taping it on. Now, it's very key to tape it on securely. Use about maybe 3 pieces of tape, middle, the start, and the end of the straw, not the end, but close to the end, so it's all on there. Time for the pendulum. So pretty much for the pendulum, you want something that's long and that will move, and then something heavy to tie at the bottom there that will help mark the altitude or the angle. As you can see, what you'll do is you'll tape that little pendulum to the center of the protractor, right, the tip where the straw and everything kind of meets, and tape it there. How to hold an astrolabe. This is key. As you can see in the photo, I have my fingers on the top of the straw, my thumb barely touching the bottom of the protractor. You want to keep your hands off the instrument while you're using it, because it could make an inaccurate measurement and calculation. This is very key. And also while you're reading the measurement, it's good for you to get someone else to read it off the protractor rather than yourself, because that could lead to inaccurate measurements and calculations. Okay, now that you know what an astrolabe actually is, it's time to actually know why it's important, why we should care. Yes, it's a pretty simple device that I explained. There's complicated versions of it too, but here's kind of why the astrolabe matters. So, an astrolabe was a stepping stone in science. Not only did it open up the doors of how navigation is in the world, but it also opened up a whole entire field into astronomy. It helped us introduce how far planets are away, how tall objects are. It gave us a whole new perspective on the world that we live in. And this is something that we can't forget or take advantage of. You have to recognize that way back when, they didn't have computers, they didn't have cell phones, the devices that we have now. They had these simplistic devices that actually made the biggest difference in the world. And that's why the astrolabe may sound a little lame if you're just first hearing about it, but if anything, it is fantastic. It is what really reflects upon our human nature and how throughout history we adapt, and how this adaptation of this device is now how we got where we are at today. Even though the simple device you created, it seems pretty easy to use and everything, but way back when it was complicated and it was something that completely changed. So yes, the astrolabe seems old-fashioned, but without it we wouldn't be where we are at today.